R.I.P. James Bond, ladies and gentlemen. R.I.P. GG's. They had a good run. 6 actors, I think, played James Bond. And now the Broccoli family has lost control of James Bond, of the IP, to Amazon. Amazon has full control now. Look at this right here. Amazon wrestles control of James Bond away from the Broccoli family. For all you that didn't know, the Broccoli family have had control of James Bond, and for the most part, they were trying their darnest to protect the franchise. And I say protect because, as we all know, these weirdos in Hollywood, they can't help themselves. They want to make all these weird, stupid changes to our favorite franchises. Case in point, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings now, right? Doctor Who, you name it. Anything that has a dedicated fan base, these weirdos in Hollywood, they can't help themselves. They'll weaponize these franchises for the sake of the message, and ultimately they ruin them. And they've already started planting the seeds with James Bond. Look at this. Why the next James Bond should be a woman or a person of color, according to a British intelligence expert. Now, why the hell is a British intelligence expert telling us who James Bond should be? He's a fictional character, and there are certain traits when it comes to James Bond that how can you change them? But you get these weirdos, bro. Oh, why not? It's been nothing but, straight white dudes. Why not change it? Well, it's like no different than like changing Black Panther. I made jokes before, but there is absolutely no way that they should hire Ryan Gosling to be T'Challa. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. But now we're probably going to end up with something very similar. But luckily for us, Jeff Bezos did ask the fans who the next James Bond should be. Right? Because the reason we haven't had a new James Bond movie in quite some time after Daniel Craig was because the Broccoli family, they were having some issues going back and forth. Hollywood wanted to do this. The Broccoli family, who had control, wanted to do this. And ultimately, they've kind of been at a stalemate. But now that's all gone. Now Amazon can do whatever the hell they want with the character. But nonetheless, as we all know, when it comes to the next James Bond, there's only one logical choice. Right here. Henry Cavill. Right? Everyone, for the most part. I mean, I saw some posts on here with Tom Hardy. I think he would be good too. I think, he's a little bit too rough around the edges for a James Bond. I think that Henry Cavill is a perfect guy. I mean, he's a nerd. He's probably read the books, probably seen all the movies. Like, he's actually going to try and give us a good adaptation of James Bond. And that's what you want. You want a good adaptation. But ultimately, that's not what we're going to get, bro. That's not what we're going to get, because this is a perfect opportunity for Hollywood, for these weirdos, to use this IP, use James Bond to push the message, right? To give us a new, fresh James Bond, right? One that is brave, brave choice. Oh, this, and here's the thing. Once they give it to this actor, actress, they, them, who knows? If you don't like it, if you are not on board, insert insult. That's what you are. That's what you are. They're gonna use this new choice as a way to push their ideologies. And if you are not on board, bro, because I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to end up with. This right here, ladies and gentlemen. This right here. Cynthia Erivo is probably going to be your James Bond. Or someone similar. They're not going to go with a Henry Cavill, bro. I'm telling you right now. And I hope I'm wrong, but there is absolutely no way they're going to go for something like this. Because They're not going to go backwards. These people. That's how they see this. They see these casting choices as going backwards. They want to go forward. They want to be brave. They want to push the envelope. You're going to see a press run. It's time we did some changes, because again, it's already started to happen. The campaign is already there. They're already calling for the next James Bond to be a woman or a person of color. And some will say, okay, well, what's the problem? As long as it's written good. Well, the problem is that James Bond was written to be a British white dude. That's a bit of a womanizer. He likes the ladies. And that's for the most part we've had with the past 6 actors. I mean, the one that I would say that was probably not as much was Daniel Craig. I think in the last 2 movies, he really wasn't out there, gallivanting. He was mourning the loss of the chick, whatever the hell her name was, I forget. But yeah, that doesn't meet the narrative that Hollywood has been trying to push. And I could be wrong, because Hollywood has been making attempts to regain the confidence of the viewer. The culture has shifted, or it started to shift. We have started to see that. I mean, the DEI projects are being taken down. Companies are kind of walking them back a little bit. Disney, I think they said they're done with the woke message. They're ready to focus more on entertainment. So that could absolutely be the case with Amazon, with James Bond. They could absolutely be, maybe they'll give us a more grounded, to the bones adaptation of who James Bond is. Maybe we'll get to see a more traditional James Bond. Maybe that's, who knows? I don't know. I hope so, but I'm not holding my breath. But I will say this, if in fact we do get someone like a Cynthia Erivo as James Bond, bro, that's gonna be funny as hell. 100%. Because we're at the point now, with the last Star Wars movies, with Rings of Power, we're at the point now where all we could do is just enjoy the clown show. That's where we're at, right? That's what The Acolyte was. We weren't watching because we actually enjoyed that trash. We were watching because, it was a clown show. It was comedy hour. And sure, it was at their expense. But does it really matter? What you're laughing at, as long as you're laughing? You know what I mean? Like my videos. I get a lot of people, making fun of the videos, but it's like, dude, at least you're watching. There's like a thing in pro wrestling, and Hulk Hogan said this recently when he got booed out of what was a WrestleMania or something. They brought him out. No, it wasn't WrestleMania. It was the first episode of Raw. And he came out, and I'm sure he was thinking that he was going to get a standing ovation, but no, bro. They booed him out of the building. And what Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan said, they said, at least we got a response. And I think that that's probably what's going to happen with the next James Bond movie, with the next James Bond pick. There's going to be a response. It's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad. And here's the thing. Really, really good is not hard. Shit, dude, they're giving Tom Holland every role, right? He's British. Give it to Tom Holland. That is not my choice. I would not say let's give Tom Holland the role. I would say let's give it to someone a little bit more masculine, someone a little bit older. Henry Cavill, again, checks off all the boxes, at least for a James Bond role. But, again, it's not hard. Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy, that's another one I saw. I mentioned earlier. Rough around the edges. I think that would be kind of cool, but we've already had kind of like a rough around the edges. Like, that's what Daniel Craig was. Daniel Craig was kind of a rough around the edges James Bond, at least at first. Then he was just a wounded animal. So, a Tom Hardy would be good. What's the dude from Sons of Anarchy? Jax Teller. That's another one. I think he would be good. But you want someone that kind of blends in for a James Bond. You know, you want someone that you would see in a casino, like a black tie casino event, and he just kind of just blends in. That's why I like the look of a Henry Cavill, because he's a good looking dude. He's kind of bigger and stuff, but he'll blend in. He just looks like another male model there. You know what I mean? Like if you get someone like a Tom Hardy, kind of rough around the edges, people kind of, give him a side eye, like, whoa, who's this guy? And you don't want that. You want someone that blends in with a James Bond, because he's a spy, dude. You know what I mean? If you think about this, you get a freaking Cynthia Erivo in there. You know what I mean? You get her in there, bro. She ain't gonna fit in. Yeah, she's not. People are gonna be like, wait a minute. Or maybe, actually, let me walk that back a little bit. Maybe if you get like a Cynthia Erivo in there, people will be like, hey, no way, she's 007. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's actually a genius choice. You know what I mean? Like, that's actually that might actually work, because if you get like a Cynthia Erivo in there, she's a little bit smaller. She's not, a British white dude. They'll be like, wait, we're looking for James Bond. He's usually a British white dude. No, it's definitely not her. Dude, maybe it's genius. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they should get Cynthia Erivo in there. I don't know, man. All I'm saying is I truly do hope that they do the right thing. But it is Lex Luthor we're talking about. Maybe he'll cast himself as James Bond. Maybe we'll get to see Jeff Bezos. You know what, guys? I'm going in. Maybe that's why he's been working out. Maybe that's why he's been on the tee. He's been getting ready for the role. Can you imagine? The balls on him if he actually did that. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. And like always, don't forget to subscribe. Sensational.